Hi everyone, and welcome to my first little video update. I don't really know what to call it. It's not kind of a podcast, it's not really a vlog, so it's just a little bit to tell people about me, about what I'm up to, and you know, interesting things that happen and people that I meet along the way. So yeah, about me. Those of you who aren't familiar with my story can visit my website, which is sarahcrossland.com, and you'll be able to find out a little bit more about me and the things that I do on there. But just to recap, I was diagnosed with an acoustic neuroma brain tumour in February 2018, so it's just coming up to 5-year anniversary, which is a bit of a biggie really. So yeah, I had a 3.5 centimetre brain tumour growing on my hearing and balance nerve from my brain. So I had surgery in 2018 to remove that, and thankfully, fingers crossed, it's all gone and won't come back. But yeah, the recovery journey has been something of a challenge. My surgery left me with no hearing and balance on my left side, which, as you can imagine, causes numerous problems. I have double vision on my left. I have tinnitus, really loud jet engine kind of volume tinnitus on my left. Yeah, the last few years have been about kind of reclaiming my life and challenging those limits, I suppose, that people put on us from time to time, and just trying to prove to myself and to others that if you really focus on what you're doing, it is possible to sort of break through those glass ceilings, if you like, and achieve things that maybe you or maybe others didn't think would be possible. One of those things for me was riding a bike. I was told, because I'd had a hemorrhage as well 3 weeks before my surgery, that it would probably be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to ride a bike again. So I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks after my surgery I got on a bike, and that journey sort of started from there, just every week trying to reach another little milestone, if you like. So that journey has brought me to the point where I've taken on bigger and bigger challenges as time's gone on. So the most recent one you may or may not be aware of was a world record attempt of going from Land's End to John O'Groats on foot, and that would be a world record for the fastest female with single-sided hearing loss. That was a challenge from the very start, because when I contacted Guinness World Records about this, they didn't actually have a category and asked me to choose from a list of impairments, which included all kinds of physical disabilities, missing limbs, that kind of thing, and nothing related to hidden disabilities. There was no single-sided hearing loss category, so that was created, if you like, I suppose, on my behalf. I actually wanted them to recognise things like the fatigue that I still experienced from day to day, and ultimately, when I started my attempt in September last year, it was that was my undoing, because the fatigue caused changes to my running gait, and therefore that kind of caused my injury, my shin injury, and I was forced to withdraw after 4 and a bit days, 169 miles. So not one to be defeated, I suppose. In a few weeks, so I think it's about 8 weeks time, I'll be heading back down to a place called Highbridge, just near Bristol, and continuing that journey. And I've got an amazing person to help me do that this time, which is just incredible, and we're really looking forward to it and sharing that journey with you. So yeah, I have got lots of work still to do, lots of training still to do. The recovery from my injury was challenging in many ways, not least because it brought back a lot of memories for me of what it was like after my surgery, when I couldn't do anything for myself. So I think my coach and my physio had a task on their hands just to sort of keep me occupied, keep me moving in whatever way I could, which was pull sessions on my turbo trainer, on my bike, and lots of weightlifting, strengthening exercises that weren't load bearing. And I think we're getting there, but I've also had some great help from other people. So Becky Lynn, who has the business Graceful Running, who she analyses people's running form and advises them on that. I mentioned John, my coach, that he's been keeping me on track. I'm building up my fitness levels again, and thankfully I've not had to go back to my physio just yet, so that's good. But she has been on hand to give me loads of advice about, you know, taping and recovery and stuff like that, so it's been really, really useful. So shout out to Amanda Tuck at AJT Sports Physio in Ellesmere Port. She's absolutely amazing. If you've got any aches or pains, she will sort you out. So I have got crewing for me this time around a lady called Kerry Horseman Gray, who is a fellow brain tumour buddy. I met Kerry through the work I've done with the British Acoustic Neuroma Association. We recently met, well, we first met last June at registration for an ultramarathon up in the Lake District, and I met her again last weekend at the running show in Birmingham, which was a great experience. So we are super excited to get back on the road, and we've got lots of ideas to help us try and raise a little bit more awareness. We'll be fundraising for the British Acoustic Neuroma Association, the School-Based Foundation, and also Brain Tumour Research. So those are three charities that are really important to me. Banneker's have been a great source of support and advice. They are the only charity in the UK that deals specifically with acoustic neuromas. The School-Based Foundation, again, they work to research the causes and treatment options available for the specific type of tumour that I had, and Brain Tumour Research, who are doing amazing work all across the country to raise awareness of the lack of research funding actually that goes into brain tumours, and to help support people, and also the research into all sorts of brain tumours, not just the one I had. I've been lucky, and you know, I want to use the opportunity that I've got by still being here to sort of highlight those that are very much less fortunate than me. And on that note, I did ask if anyone had any questions, and one question that someone asked was, what advice would you give to friends or family supporting a loved one with a brain tumour diagnosis? Any pet peeves that you should stay clear of asking or saying or doing? So when I was first diagnosed, suddenly everyone became a neurosurgeon. Everybody knew I was going to be absolutely fine, you know, and I'd be totally better. Well, for one, I'm not really. Secondly, I didn't really appreciate people telling me that I was going to be fine when I knew as well as they did that nobody knew. So that was a bit irritating, to be quite honest. What I would say is try and find positive experiences, and if you haven't got one yourself, don't go and say about, oh, so and so had whoever who died of a brain tumour. You don't want to hear that, but also you don't want that sort of false optimism either. Just keep it real. And I would say, if you can't give a positive experience yourself, try and find somebody who can. And that's where these charities are doing an amazing job. You know, they offer absolutely fantastic peer support. They have great online and in-person communities and meetings and support groups, and they are doing such a fantastic job of supporting people like me and our families with, you know, a brain tumour diagnosis. That's amazing. And also the other thing I would add to that is, whilst you might think you don't know what to say, so don't say anything at all, actually that's quite hurtful. And from personal experience, there were a number of people that just completely blanked me. For what reason, I do not know, but to this day it baffles me. But I would rather people say anything. Can we talk about the weather, rather than say nothing at all. So that's my first little update for you all. You can find out more about what I'm doing on my website, and there are links there to the Land's End to John O'Groats Challenge, which will be continuing, along with links about those charities that I mentioned, and also fundraising links as well. For me and Kerry, it is all about raising awareness, because it's very much misunderstood. It's very much brushed under the carpet, the elephant in the room, whatever you want to call it. You know, a diagnosis like this really affects you. It's really life-changing, and yet people seem very reluctant to want to deal with it, particularly post-surgery, those hidden things that you can't explain to people, things like the hearing loss, things like the tinnitus, things like the chronic fatigue. You know, they're all things that we're trying to raise awareness of, and that's why this journey is really important to us. So we really appreciate your time. Please, please, please help us to go on and raise that awareness, tell people about what we're doing, and I'll be back soon with another update for you.